Hello there, Dan the Weatherman here. Hey, welcome to my weather show. This is the global edition. Going to look at things going on across the globe. Of course, leading up towards Christmas, it's an interesting time for the weather, but depending on where you are. La Nina still driving what is going to be the weather across a good part of the globe. Cooler waters, Eastern Pacific, pushes all the weather systems further south, further north, and it makes big areas of high pressure and it slows weather systems down with more blocking. Yeah, what does that mean? Well, really, the big driver this time is Polar Vortex. Northern Hemisphere, it's growing, 24-hour darkness. And notice these legs or lobes, they're interesting. Where has the cold air been and where will it be? Across North America, parts of really Asia, Siberia, but not as much. It's almost like Mother Nature's taken a flamethrower and gone right in the middle there, with the big lows developing across parts of the North Atlantic, warm seas. As they move, the warm air coming up, it's been blowing holes in the bottom. That's why it's almost like two legs standing there. This is going to develop, this is very strong, but of course the cold air will be where those two legs or lobes are, North America and parts of Asia. Not as much to Europe. You'll have a little bit of a cool down. I'll show you that in a second. This one in the southern hemisphere, already to 24-hour daylight, so it's like a lump of ice cream on a bonnet of a warm car. It's melting, but as you get the bits melting, you get lobes, and as those lobes of cold hit warm, you get oomph, you get weather, you get contrast, and that's why I've seen the thunderstorms, the active weather over parts of the southern hemisphere recently, Australia, New Zealand, even snow to some of the, the southeastern ranges of Australia, New Zealand. There'll be another surge mid-month, but this will slowly fade and disappear by the time we get to Christmas, and that of course will be quiet weather. Surges of warmth and cold, and for the coming week, two spots. Remember, North America and Siberia, blue of course colder than normal, and there to Siberia, same sort of thing, running through the week. Look at that next surge of cold. That will be sub-zero, Western Canada, oozing down where the blue is. A little bit of a warm-up, but this is really cold stuff, and that same one there to parts of Siberia. Notice to Europe, hints of some cooler weather, but it's really more Scandinavia for much of Europe, again above where you should be for the time of year. Jet stream's pretty active, lots of juice, lots of energy, and you've had lots of depressions just barreling across the Atlantic, getting to the warm water, boom, up they go. Pretty nasty storms to northwest parts of Europe, in particular the British Isles. And you see how it's been going up like that and going up like that? That's really curious, because that's because of the warmer seas, the jet stream looking at it from up here, North America, Asia, and look how it bends like that. And as this runs through the week, of course you get lots of energy, but see how these two bits, it's like a pincer effect. That's the warmth. That's why it's been warm across parts of Europe, and that whole flow, cross-polar flow, see how it bends down, but there, that's the surge of cold over western parts of North America through the coming week. And you can pick it out. First storm system there. Snow line is the blue line, and watch this guy. He's going to really wind up. Snow on its top edge to the northeastern parts of the US. Then this system means business. Check this one out. Diving down. Severe storms on that across the Mississippi Valley. Wow, winding up. That's a cold blast of a flow to the northeastern US. But look at this. This is the Pacific Northwest. That's really bitterly cold air. Remember our polar vortex, the leg? That's surging down. Guess where that's going? Right across parts of the western US going into the first week of December. To Europe, blustery lows barreling into the northwestern parts of Europe. British Isles is sitting under that somewhere. There's the cold air, but with the southwest flow, the warm air has been sitting there over France and Iberia. But a little bit of a change this week. This system, and if you just put your eyes to that lump of energy, that's going to barrel in and develop quite a low over parts of Italy. What does that mean? Well, that does that. It starts grabbing this cold air, and you see our blue line, it starts drifting. So that means a colder spell to the British Isles. That cold easterly sets in before the next low kicks it back to a southeaster and the warm air. So a little bit cooler, but it's going to be unsettled, however you want to slice it. And then we head down under Australia, New Zealand. You've got a bit of a blustery flow across New Zealand with a couple more troughs. You've had such active weather with, of course, the polar vortex flicking its arms. But look at this. High pressure finally building across South Australia. That is good for New South Wales, drying out for the week. Victoria. That comes towards New Zealand going into the weekend. But check out the flow. That's a lot of rain for the week for parts of the Northern Territory and the Queensland, really. Queensland area is seeing easily well in excess of 100 millimetres with that flow. Monsoon getting keyed up perhaps in the next several weeks. New Zealand quieter weather as high pressure slowly builds in, and Australia as well. Rainfall for the week you can see much, much quieter and drier. That's the weather for now.